buddy Monroe Mann here again, and I got my Mean Girls shirt on, which means I mean business. Today we're going to talk about skydiving, which is one of my favorite hobbies, and I'm going again this weekend, and I wanted to just share with some of you why skydiving is such a cool thing to do. Because I think there are a lot of life lessons that you can learn from skydiving, and it's very fun, and it clears your head. So I'm going to go over some of the reasons why I think skydiving is really great. The first thing I want you guys to know is you don't feel like you're falling. I've jumped out of the plane 55 times now. Hey, what's up, Nakon? Great to see you. Have you gone skydiving before? So if you've ever been on a roller coaster and you know when you go up and then it starts going down fast and you feel your stomach going up into your brain, you don't feel like that. And the reason why is you're artificially accelerating very fast on a roller coaster. So your organs basically fly up into your upper body. When you're jumping out of an airplane, you're already moving forward at like 70, 80, 90 miles an hour. So when you jump out, you're not just jumping out and falling, you're kind of going like this. You jump out of the plane, and that's kind of the trajectory. So you move from horizontal motion to vertical drop gradually over the course of about 5 or 6 seconds. So it takes about 6 seconds before you stop moving with the plane forward until you're just falling. And the idea is your body gets an opportunity to catch up. You don't feel like you are falling. I know a lot of people don't go skydiving because they think that they're going to feel like they're on a roller coaster dropping for a minute. You don't feel it. So I haven't been to space, but I imagine it's somewhat similar because literally you're just, it's really hard to explain. You don't feel like you're falling. It's like you're just hovering. I don't know if you've ever done indoor skydiving. Well, indoor skydiving, if you watch, you just search for YouTube for indoor skydiving. There's just a big fan that's pushing air up so strongly that you can hover. And that's basically how it feels when you're skydiving. It feels like you're just hovering. It doesn't feel like you're actually falling in a way. But in your mind, you know that you are. This is why you have the adrenaline rush, because your body, like, you know that there's something going on here. You're falling really, really fast. Between like 110 and 160 miles per hour, you are dropping. But you don't feel that horrible feeling in your stomach. You're welcome. I'm happy to answer questions. I always answer questions. What's up, Rienzo in soccer, KM Kenas, and Nekon? So that's the first thing. If you're thinking about going skydiving, you should do it because you're not going to feel like you're falling. But I will tell you this, you are going to be scared. And there are 5 times that you're going to feel scared before you jump. Once you jump, the fear turns into just awesome adrenaline. You're like, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. But there are going to be 5 times where you are thinking, oh my gosh, what am I doing? This is absolutely crazy. The first time is when the airplane arrives and you get onto the airplane. As soon as you get onto the airplane, they teach you your first jump, when you first jump out of the airplane, you're not going to get a whole course, but you watch a 15-minute video and your instructor will go over everything with you. Your first jump out of the airplane, it's not with your own parachute. You're connected to your instructor who's behind you. And you don't wear a helmet, you do wear protective glasses. And the instructor will just tell you you don't have to worry about anything. The first jump is really, your big mission is jump out of the plane. But the instructor's going to do absolutely everything. So the first time you're going to be scared is when you're getting on that plane and going, oh my gosh, this is real. The second time you're going to be scared is when the airplane starts, when it takes off and you start looking out the window and you realize, oh my gosh, this plane keeps going higher and higher. You go up to 14,000 feet in most skydive drop zones in the United States. In kilometers, I think it's about 4.5 to 5 kilometers. That's how high you are. So it's pretty high. And I think that's 4.5, 5 kilometers. But I know it's definitely 14,000 feet. So I'm going to talk about that, Nacon, about whether the parachute is going to open or not in a second. But first, I want to continue talking about those the 5 times you feel scared. Number 1, I said when you get on the plane. Number 2, the plane takes off and you start looking out the window and it just keeps going higher and higher. Okay, once you get up to 14,000 feet, the airplane is going to level off, slow down, and they're going to open the door. And all of a sudden, you're going to hear whoosh, and it's slow, and you see everybody start getting ready, and you realize, oh my gosh, this is happening. That's the third time you're going to be scared and realize, what am I doing? The fourth time is when you actually see the first people jump out of the plane. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. And you think, oh my gosh, and you see them just fall away and disappear. And it's a crazy, crazy feeling because you realize, oh my gosh, it's going to be me next. The next time that you're going to feel like you're scared is as you're moving closer and closer to the door. So the open door, and every time somebody jumps, you move closer and closer. Your heart starts to beat. And then the final time that you feel scared is when you get to the door and you either look down and see how far it is, or you don't look down and you just closed your eyes and and your instructor jumps and you jump with you. As soon as that happens, you no longer have fear. You realize after about 5 seconds that, oh my gosh, this is not terrifying. You won't remember that. You're not going to think that at the time. All you're going to realize is, wow, this is fun. And you're having a good time. And 60 seconds doesn't seem like a long time. But when you're falling for 60 seconds, it's a long time. So then what happens? The parachute opens. And typically around, probably around 5,500 feet. That's when I pull mine. I don't know when the tandems do it, the tandem instructors, when you do the first time, but it's probably around that, around 5,000, 6,000 feet. Now, going back to the question is, Nakon's question, I'm scared if the parachute will open or not. It's almost safer to go skydiving than it is to go into a car. And let me tell you why. First, you have 2 parachutes. When I jump by myself with my own rig and everything, it's also 2 parachutes. When you jump with your instructor for the first time, it's called a tandem jump because there are 2 people. There are 2 parachutes. Now, how this works is if the first parachute, let's say you open it, they open it and there's a problem with it. The instructor can see immediately, is it working? Does everything work well? And if not, you pull right here, and then you pull right here. You have a release here. This releases your main parachute, and then you pull right here, it releases the reserve parachute. And those reserve parachutes are packed by extremely professional Federal Aviation Administration parachute riggers. So it is almost 99.9% going to open without a problem. But then you think, well, what happens if my instructor passes out? Or what happens if my instructor dies while I am falling? What happens? And I don't know how to pull the ripcord. It's okay, because there's a computer in every tandem parachute rig and also the rigs that most people use, including the one I use. It's called an AAD, which is an automatic activation device. And that automatic activation device, it keeps track of how fast you're falling, and it keeps track of your altitude. And the computer, you can change it for the speed of fall and the altitude. But in most cases, if it gets to like 2,000 feet and you're still falling at more than 100 miles per hour, the computer thinks there's a problem here. I'm going to automatically open the reserve parachute. Now, in that case, you're still going to have to control the parachute on the way down. But even if you didn't, even if you just leave it like that and you have the parachute going down, you're going to land okay. You're not going to die. Maybe you'll get a broken ankle or broken leg or this or that, but it's very unlikely that you can die skydiving. The times when you're likely to die skydiving are when you get really cocky. Cocky means overconfident, and you decide that you're going to do all these fancy maneuvers and try to do spins and turns with your parachute, and you crash right into the ground. I don't do that type of stuff because I don't want to die with my parachute open. The other time you could potentially die when you're skydiving is if you open your parachute too low. Now, again, if you have an AAD, automatic activation device, it's going to open for you. Your reserve parachute will open. But there's a possibility. By the way, Gorilla Tag Boy, thanks for telling me I'm smart. You can give me a nice like for my smartness. Love you to subscribe to my channel. I do lots of live streams every day on lots of different topics. I'm a lawyer. I have a PhD in psychology. I'm a skydiver. I'm a wakeboarder. I'm a skier. I have an MBA in finance. I'm a real estate investor. I am a hiker. I mean, so many different things that I talk about and I like to share in my live streams and inspire people, educate them, whatever it may be. So I got 2 likes. Thank you guys. So I kind of give, whenever I'm talking, I want more people to go skydiving because I'm always looking for people who want to go skydiving with me. And it's sometimes difficult, and I have to give them this long speech that I'm giving you, telling them that you don't feel like you're falling like you do on a roller coaster. It's very unlikely that you're going to die because you got 2 parachutes and you have a really smart computer that's part of the parachute system to make sure that the parachute opens. And I want to tell you about all of this stuff because you need to get over all that stuff before you even get into an airplane. And I want you to get into an airplane and jump out of it. But the only way you're going to get into an airplane and jump out of it is if you believe it's safe and that it's not going to be as petrifyingly scary as you think. I'm looking at the comments here. Gorilla Tag Boy, I like certain jazz. And and some people, when they're skydiving, they have their earbuds in. And so they're listening to music as they're falling out of the plane, which is pretty neat. What jazz do I like? I like jazz that has some sort of melody to it. In terms of, I like some jazz where I can feel there's some musicality. Some jazz is so boring or so just weird. It just sounds like lots of cacophony and noise that I don't like it. How about you? What kind of jazz do you like? And Daniel, yeah, I'm back. Yeah, I did a 2-hour live stream. Daniel, you're not going to believe this. Remember I told you guys in that live stream that I was probably going to get a lot of watch time from that live stream? So for those of you who don't know, when you do a live stream, every person who is watching you at that time magnifies the watch time. So it says there are 5 people here. That means for every minute that you guys are here, I get 5 minutes of watch time. So I did this 2-hour live stream. It was the longest live stream I'd ever done. And I was just curious to see how much watch time would I get. You're never going to believe it. I got 14 hours worth of watch time for talking for 2 hours. And then that live stream is now on the channel, which means I'll get even more watch time. So for any of you who are YouTubers and you want to get more watch time, do these live streams and try to get a few people to watch. Every single person who watches magnifies your watch time. So, Gorilla Tagboat, you're going skydiving tomorrow. So ask me more questions. I want to answer them. I'll show you just some of the skydiving equipment that I have here. So here is this is my skydiving helmet. And you notice it has a very big visor. And the reason why it's so big is you want to have a really big field of vision so that you can see everything. Because you need to be able to see all around you. Otherwise, it's a safety issue. What else do I have up here? So I have these goggles. You're going to wear something like this. I'll put them on, show you what they look like. So you'll wear something like this when you're skydiving. Why do you need this? Or you need to either wear these or wear the helmet, because the helmet has the visor. You don't want 140 mile per hour wind going onto your eyes. It's going to be very painful and uncomfortable. I'm going to open up this thing, this little package here. Any of you guys guess what this is? Okay, if not, we're going to open it up. We're going to do an unboxing of what this piece of equipment is. I'm going to show it to you, and maybe you can tell me what this is. Give me some guesses in the chat. What does this look like? So I'll wait for about 10 seconds. I wear this. Yeah, you're right. It uses pressure. What pressure is it using? Air pressure, altitude. You got it. Awesome. This is my altimeter. Let me show you how I put this thing on. Hold on a second. So it goes on your wrist. Usually goes on your left hand. I'm sure you could get it to go on the other hand, but in general, I don't think they want to do that, because you want to keep this on your left so that your right hand is free, because your right hand is what you use to pull the ripcord to open the parachute. You want to have your hands free, and you don't want to have like funky things like this on there. But it's on here like this, so that when like if I'm skydiving and I'm falling, right? And then I can just go like this and I can see what the altitude is. And there are different types of altimeters. There are analog and digital. So this one is analog, and I'll show, which means there's no battery needed. And I liked the idea of having an analog one that only uses air pressure to work, because then I know it's never going to not work on me. Look at this. You see how it's not at zero? I live in Miami Beach, which is at sea level. So something's wrong here. You see these little bevels here? I can turn them. So when I go skydiving this weekend, I'm going to turn this to make sure that it's at zero. Because after every skydive, it gets all funky and gets messed up. They also have digital ones. They also have something called an audible. If you look here in my helmet, right here on the side, there's a little square. So this part of the skydiving helmet, I can pop that out and I can get a audible altimeter. If you notice where that's positioned on the helmet, it's right near my ear. And so what it would do, it would like go beep every time you go 1,000 feet. Then beep, another 1,000 feet, beep. And then when you get to, let's say, 7,000 feet, it'll go like beep, beep. And then 6,000 feet, beep, beep, beep. And then if you set it so that you want to pull your parachute by 5,500, it'll go beep, 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 beep. And if you go to 5,000, it'll start going beep, 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 beep. And the idea is to remind you, hey, pay attention, you idiot. You missed your altitude to pull your parachute. This is the logbook. And the logbook, I'll just show you what that is. It's similar to like a pilot's logbook. Like here, I'll look at my last jump, which is right here. Let me flip this around so I can read it too. So here, jump number, all right, sorry, I misspoke. I've done 54 jumps. I did this back in May 5th, 14,000 feet, went falling for 60 seconds of free fall time. My total so far, I've been falling out of a plane for a total of 46 minutes. And then here it says it was a three-way jump with Alex and Juan. I was on the inside, and there was a big tumble, but held together. And got to the holding area too late, had to abandon, did a PLF, parachute landing fall landing, but in the correct place. And the idea is you wanna keep this log, because this log, if you go to other drop zones, you need to show them the log to show that you are actually certified and that you are trained to jump. Let's look at these comments. So the air pressure or altitude. So it's not Gorilla Tag Boy. It's not showing you how fast. Some the digital altimeters that I told you about, they will actually record how fast you fall, at what altitude you left the airplane, at what altitude you deployed your parachute, at what altitude you were going in which direction. I mean, there's some very complicated altimeters and software that you can get. Mine is just a very simple, telling me when I need to pull my parachute. And Mikhail, how do people who are scared of heights usually respond so well to skydiving? So, it's a very strange thing. When you're scared of heights, it means if you're on the top of a tall building, you're going to feel vertigo. And that makes sense because you can see the ground and it's pretty close to you. When you are at 14,000 feet and you look down, it's kind of like a video game. It's unreal. It's like, it doesn't even look like it's a real, it's so small. If you look on my YouTube channel, I've got lots of videos. Some of them were when I was getting my training. I have a short from a few months ago where I already got my license and I did a front flip out of the airplane. But if you look at that one, the one where I do the front flips out of the airplane, you'll see the camera look down and you'll see what I mean, where it's not, I don't think you have the same sense of vertigo when you're at 14,000 feet as you do when you're in the top of a 10-story building. Because I think it's when you're at the top of a 10-story building, you know if you fall, you die. But when you're in that airplane, in the back of your mind, you know you are attached to a parachute. And when you're doing your first jump, you're attached to a parachute that's attached to an instructor who's done thousands and thousands of jumps and is not going to let you die, because if they let you die, they die too. And they don't want to die. And so I think that's why people who are afraid of heights end up doing okay with skydiving, and it helps them to be less scared of heights. Because I think they just get confidence knowing that, okay, looking out down is not absolutely going to kill me. Here is another comment. Tomorrow I'm leaving Iraq forever to change my life and work on myself instead of scrolling reels for hours every day, and I'll return to my homeland, Kyrgyzstan. I hope there are skydiving courses. So actually, I have a copy of Skydiving Magazine right now. Let me see if I could find it. I get it every month. There it is. It's on my floor right here. We're going to look together and see where the closest, here's the Parachutist Magazine. Let's look through it together and see if we can find a drop zone closest to you. So here they are. So let's kind of look for Kyrgyzstan and see if anything is there. So I'm not seeing anything. It goes right from Hungary to India, then to, let's see, Kenya, Korea, Kuwait. Yeah, Kyrgyzstan. So maybe China is the closest one, because is China the closest country that you're close to? Let's look at China and see what we can find. Look at this. There are a ton of them in China. I'll go slowly because you can look at this later. It'll be recorded. There's one in Chengdu, in Yingfei, in Hengyang, Skydive Beijing, Hainan. By the way, Hainan would be a beautiful place to do it. It's a beautiful island. Harbin, Skydive Horizon in Hengdian, then Wanning, Sanya, Wayland, Winning, WeFly, that's near Wuhan, and then Tianjin and Yanhuang. So maybe those are your best bets, is to go somewhere in China. Do any of you else want me to find you the closest drop zone to where you are? Because I got them all right here. If you're interested in going skydiving, just ask me in the chat, and I will tell you where you can go. Obviously, there are a lot of them in the United States. There are many of them in Europe. But there are many also in a lot of other countries as well. Now note, Nikon, excuse me, it's possible that there are skydive drop zones in Kyrgyzstan, but the only ones that are listed in this magazine are ones that the United States Parachute Association has vetted and said this is a safe drop zone, and the equipment that they use is safe, and the instructors that they use are well trained. There are some drop zones that are not as safe as they should be. Now, again, probably they're still not going to have a ton of skydiving deaths, but I would definitely trust ones that are approved by the United States Parachute Association as an affiliate rather than just go to one. So if you find one in Kyrgyzstan, I would do a lot of research because they're not listed in this magazine, which means the United States Parachute Association doesn't trust any skydive operations in Kyrgyzstan. And I don't know, let me look in Iraq. No, and there are none in Iraq either. I used to be in Iraq with the U.S. Army. That's where I was deployed. And I mean, it's been 20 years, but the country's still having problems. It's not the Western world yet. I like Kyrgyzstan. Why did you guys change your flag? And yeah, you're right, Nakon. Your life is priceless. And you keep saying Kurdistan. I'm not saying Kurdistan. Maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong. I'm trying to say Kyrgyzstan. Am I not pronouncing it right? Is it Kyrgyzstan or Kyrgyz? I don't know. But I know Kurdistan is in the northern Iraq, southern Turkey, which is where I was deployed for part of my time when I was in the military. I have not been to Kyrgyzstan or Kyrgyzstan, however you say that. So, but I'm also looking in here. There are no skydiving places in Kurdistan or Iraq either. But I'm glad that you guys are thinking about it. Mikhail, have you gone skydiving before yourself? So, Nakon, where are you originally from? Where were you born? Were you born in Kyrgyzstan? Or were you born in Iraq? Or were you born in some other country? I'm very curious about this. That's very fascinating. So what language do you speak in Kyrgyzstan? And what are the major religions in Kyrgyzstan? My father's bloodline is from Syria, Afrin. Interesting. Okay. Fascinating. And what's your native language then? If not, I don't think it's English. So there are two official languages. We're learning great stuff. Started off talking about skydiving, and now we're learning about the official languages of Kyrgyzstan. Russian and I don't even know how to say that. Kyrgyzstan? Is that right? Kyrgyzstan? Does that sound right, Nekon? Or Kyrgyzstan? And another follow-up question. Is Kyrgyzstan, does it sound like, what's the most similar language? Does it sound like Russian? Oh, it's similar to Turkish. Wow. Turkish. Fascinating. So if I say Nesselsinnes, is that similar to how you say it in the Kyrgyzstan language? Nesselsinnes? Mikhail, you've got to try it this summer. Oh, I don't know if you told me. Which state do you live in? Maybe you told me and I forgot. And if so, I apologize. I don't know how it's in Kyrgyzstan. Okay. But some words are the same. Okay, very interesting. So we were starting to talk about skydiving, and we ended up talking about Kyrgyzstan. Counting to 10 is the same. Fascinating. Okay. I don't know. Maybe Mikhail doesn't want to share publicly where he lives, and if so, that's completely fine. You don't have to do that. I'm just curious. You could tell me privately. Oh, Pennsylvania. I know a few places near me. I'm just taking too long. Can I tell you this? Stop waiting. Stop waiting. Winners do it now. That's one of my favorite quotes that I came up with many years ago. Winners do it now. Why? Because you don't know. There's never going to be a perfect time to do it. There's never going to be a time when you're not scared or nervous. I regret that I didn't do airborne in the Army. So you're infantry, right? In the U.S. Army, you don't want to go to airborne school and have to go through basically basic training again, doing those ruck marches, running, and then also have to overcome the fear of jumping out of the airplane. How much better if you already have gone skydiving in the civilian world, so that when you go do Army, infantry, airborne skydiving, the only thing you have to deal with, the only thing that's scary is I got to wake up at 5 a.m. and run and get yelled at. And you will become the rock star of your class because you will have already jumped. I wish I had done skydiving. I had an opportunity when I was in college. I wish I had done it. Because if I had done it when I had done in college, I wouldn't have been scared to have done it in the Army. And I probably would have become airborne qualified. And who knows where that would have led my Army career. I'm telling you, if you don't do it this summer, you're going to drop and give me 5,000 push-ups because I just think you're a complete and total idiot, with all due respect. If you're infantry and you're stalling on going to do skydiving in the civilian world, right? It's a great idea. Yeah, I could have gone. I could have gone airborne and I could have done air assault. And I wanted to do them both, and I don't know what. I mean, maybe it was fear or of the unknown or this and that. But I think if I had asked, there would have been opportunities. Just imagine if you've already done it before, there's no fear. Then when you go to airborne school with the infantry, you're just going to jump out of the plane. And let me tell you this. Most people who are airborne qualified have no idea how to do free fall. Because when you jump out of an airplane, of a C-130, and you're Army airborne, you're connected to a static line. You have a line connected to the airplane. When you jump out, it pulls the parachute open for you after like 3 seconds. So like literally you jump out, the parachute's open. Beyond that, usually it's a round parachute. Has very little ability to steer. And when you land, it's going to be a little bit harsh. Gosh, I would love to have, you become a skydiver, even if you just do 1 or 2 tandems yourself, at least you'll have some experience. And I guarantee you'll have the guts then to go and do Army airborne. Let me see, let me look at these comments. Who were you fighting against in Iraqi war? I'm interested in your war stories. Yeah, I have some videos talking about some of that. If you like, subscribe to my channel and go look in my channel. You'll find some videos that I took when I was in Iraq. I have about 100 hours of footage that I still haven't edited yet, but I want to start doing that. I think now that I'm doing YouTubing more frequently, I'm probably going to go get that footage and start editing and putting clips up there. But who was I fighting? It was basically Iran financed terrorists who were trying to kick us out and destroy America. And this has been the eternal war for decades between America and Iran. And I remember the media at the time, the newspaper articles were always saying how we were invaders and we were colonizing Iraq and stuff. It's a bunch of crap. The Iraqis absolutely loved us. I've got so many Iraqi friends who are so grateful that we came there and kicked Saddam out. Before we were there, the civilians didn't even have internet. We brought them Yahoo. We brought them YouTube. We brought them Facebook. And for that, I'm really grateful. I'm glad that we were able to do something. I haven't been back to Iraq in 20 years, but the fact that you, Nakon, from Kyrgyzstan, moved to Iraq and you have a job in Iraq, that is amazing. And that means that Iraq has come a long way, because when I left Iraq in 2005, it was a massive war zone and people were getting blown up all the time. People were dying every day. Rockets, bombs, grenades, car bombs. So I'm glad that you were able to find a job there in Iraq and do something productive and make some money. And I'm glad that I was able to help. I guarantee you, if America did not go to Iraq back 20 years ago, you would not be in Iraq right now having a job as a civilian. So anyway, that's a little bit of just about my Iraq thing. I'll be happy to share some more of my stories about Iraq. One story I'll share right now, which is sort of related to, you're a student, 11th grader. I still think that's pretty cool that you're in Iraq studying, but you're from Kyrgyzstan. I mean, that's wild. I want you to create your own YouTube live stream, and I'll watch that so I can hear your story about how the heck you ended up in Iraq. You're welcome. I'm thankful that you're thankful to America that they helped the Kurds. And yeah, a lot of my Iraqi friends are Kurds as well. I helped train the Kurdistan Iraqi army in northern Iraq, in Tuz. I don't know if you know the city Tuz, but I was also in Arbil and Kirkuk. And yeah, that year, I mean, I'm just thinking back, it was one of the best years of my life. So much adventure and adrenaline, and I felt like I was doing something very important. And I talked about this a few days ago on a live stream where I was talking about adrenaline. Once you leave a war zone, the adrenaline, it's hard to find that same adrenaline in your civilian life, and it's just kind of weird. I mean, I like talking here on this live stream, but it certainly does not give me the adrenaline that I had when I was in Iraq every day and putting on my body armor and lock and load the M16 and my Sig Sauer pistol, put on my Kevlar, get in the Humvees and go out on a mission. I mean, my heart's beating just thinking about that. It's crazy. Nakon wrote, my cousins, I went to a sleepover this month in their house, and they were telling stories of their childhood. They saw so many dead bodies. And I'm amazed we're still over there, though it's much better now, in stories how they heard voices of terrorists. I believe it, and I imagine it's very traumatic for some of those children that grew up around that time. And war is hell. That's the famous expression. War is hell. And at the same time, war is sometimes necessary. And it's what we need to do sometimes to put bad people in their place. Unfortunately, war sometimes gets started by bad people. Adolf Hitler started World War II. But we had to get involved to push the Japanese back and push the Nazis back. But going back to skydiving, what I was going to say, the story from Iraq that kind of reminds me is always going in the Black Hawk helicopters. And I was in them constantly, going all around the country. And obviously, I wasn't skydiving out of helicopters. Nobody was, unless you're special forces and they were doing some. But we were already in the country, so I don't think there was any reason for anybody to be doing any halo jumps in Iraq during that war. But it's the same adrenaline feeling when you're in that Black Hawk and both of those doors are open, and sometimes you're sitting in there with your feet dangling out of the door. Uh, it's pretty cool. And again, it's like that's one of the things that maybe you'll only do in the military. I mean, most people aren't even ever in helicopters, let alone in a Black Hawk with your sitting out like this with your legs dangling in the wind. That's pretty wild. So, Mikhail, you're going to go skydiving this summer. And I look forward to you telling me when you went. Heck, maybe we go together and I come up to Pennsylvania and we meet each other and we go skydiving together. That could be a possibility. Oh my gosh, dude, I figured it out. I'm giving another TEDx talk at Jefferson University on August 31st in Philadelphia. You live in Pennsylvania. So I think I'm going to take my helmet and my altimeter up with me on the plane, and maybe you and I go skydiving in August. What do you think? I hope that sounds good. We're going to go skydiving together, you and me, around the last week of August. If you can find a skydive place that's the closest to Philadelphia, that would be the ideal. And Nakon, make sure you do your due diligence. I know you're eager to go skydiving, but yeah, honestly, coming to America for skydiving is better. And how hard is it to get a visa with a Kyrgyzstan citizenship? I don't know offhand. I'm going to write this down. Maybe I'll do a live stream about visas later because, as some of you know, I'm a lawyer as well. I'm just writing this right down. A visa for Kyrgyzstan to USA. It may be difficult, but it's not impossible. If you figured out, let me ask you this, Nakon. Do you live in Iraq with your parents, or are you I can't even remember the name of what it means when you're like a dorm student? Do you live and your parents still live in Iraq? I'd love to know what's going on with that. So with your dad, okay, so you and your dad are going to move back to Kyrgyzstan this year, and Mikhail, awesome, Mikhail, yeah, great. Let's do that. Let's coordinate that, and let's find out the closest one to Philadelphia. And awesome. This is going to be good. And you need a visa, but Kyrgyzstan is not enemies or has tension with the U.S. So that's good news. With tourist visas, a lot of times, not a lot of times, all the time, they want to make sure that if you're coming from a country that's relatively poor, I'm not insulting Kyrgyzstan, but it's certainly not France or Germany or Japan. They want to make sure that you have a job back in Kyrgyzstan or school. They want to make sure you have family connections there. They want to make sure that you have enough money in the bank, that you have a job in Kyrgyzstan, because they don't want somebody who has no job, no family, no life in Kyrgyzstan to come to the United States, because then they're never going to leave. And as many of you know, we have a horrible illegal immigration problem right now in the United States. And it's probably not going to get better until Trump wins the election, which I think is going to happen. And I think most Americans are going to be grateful for that because we can't handle this illegal immigration anymore. I honestly think actually too that it might be easier. Well, I don't know if it'll be easier or harder when Trump is elected. If he's elected, we'll see. But I would try to start doing a tourist visa maybe now while Biden is the president. Because it may be easier now when Biden, I'm sure Trump is going to make immigration a lot more difficult. because we need to control this problem. I mean, there are so many illegal immigrants killing people, Americans. It's just horrible. Illegal Venezuelan 2 days ago just shot 2 NYPD police officers. Like, what the heck? This guy shouldn't have even been in this country. So, but it's a heck of a lot easier to come to the United States now than it might be when Trump is elected. Not necessarily. Maybe, maybe not. I'm just saying you should try now for a tourist visa. And if Trump is elected, try again. Once he's elected, maybe you'll get a different outcome. Another option, Cohen, is to apply to school here in the United States. If you want to come and do your first skydive in the United States because you feel it's a safer country, if you have great grades, then apply. Come to college here. And then you'll have a student visa here, and then even if it's just for 1 year. Yeah. No, Trump loves immigration. Trump loves immigrants. He wants people here who came here legally. And I'm a lawyer. I was an immigration defense attorney for a year. And I ended up having to leave because I kind of felt like I was being part of the problem. And I am 100% in favor of anybody from any country coming to the United States. I speak so many different languages. I love people from different countries. I love traveling to many different countries. But not once have I ever overstayed my visa in another country. And I know some people talk about, say, oh, but you don't have a terrible life in the United States. They're like, oh, I don't care. They're breaking the law. You shouldn't be here. And they go, yeah, but you're not hurting anybody. Yeah, you are, because the joke that I always make with people, this has nothing to do with skydiving, but I sometimes use a main theme and I go off on other topics. If I go and rob a bank and I don't hurt anybody and I just take money from the richest people in the bank, you could argue, look, nobody really got hurt. I only took a little bit of money from the richest people. I'm like, dude, you're still a criminal and you still stole money and you robbed a bank. To me, I think illegal immigration is the same thing, and I don't think it's justified. That's my personal opinion, and some people may disagree. So now, Colin, I guess what I'm telling you is you want to come skydiving in the United States. That's awesome. Certainly don't come over the border illegally. That'll make things worse. I really think you should apply and try to get a tourist visa. You'd never know unless you try. Our university's expensive here. Yes and no, it depends. You can go to a community college, which is going to be so much less expensive than going to a really fancy private school. I went to fancy private schools, but now that I'm older and the world has changed, when I have children, hoping I do, or when I adopt children, there's no way for the first 2 years I'm sending them to any fancy school. I'm going to say go to a community college and get amazingly good grades, because you're going to change your major constantly. A bachelor's degree doesn't really do anything for you anymore. There are so many jobs now that you don't even need a bachelor's degree. A pilot, a software developer, marketing, advertising, and working in AI. It's amazing how many fields they don't even care if you have a college degree anymore, because the college degree just doesn't really mean as much as it once did. Let's see what else here. In America, you can get scholarships. Absolutely. And Mikhail got a scholarship. Fantastic, because you did well in high school. Schools can award you things like that. So, and that's great. I mean, Nekon, work hard. You're in 11th grade. Work hard to do really well this year. And if your grades this year aren't perfect, make sure your grades when you are a senior are amazing for that first semester. I would start applying to colleges in the United States. Apply to some colleges in England. Apply to some colleges in Australia. They're always looking for really intelligent students from other countries. And to have a student from Kyrgyzstan who also lived in Iraq, that's something really cool that a school can say, yeah, we've got a student in Kyrgyzstan. It's really, really fascinating. And how much average points are enough? I don't know what the grades are there, but here's another thing. You don't necessarily need to have super grades to get a scholarship. You can have good grades, but because you're from Kyrgyzstan, they may want to give a scholarship to someone who's from a foreign country that is a third world, less developed nation. And there are scholarships that are out there. I mean, there are a lot of opportunities in the United States and in England and in Australia, in Ireland, in all these English-speaking countries. Try to do that. 0 to 100, I would say make sure your grades are at least 80 or higher. Ideally, they should be 87 or higher, and best case scenario, they're all 90 or above. Well, I guess best case scenario is it's 100, but you're not going to get, no one's going to get 100. Very few people have perfect scores. I didn't get perfect scores, and I got some scholarships. I didn't get a full scholarships, but I did do well enough that I got some. I easily get 95. Then not only can you pass the skydiving exam to get your skydiving license, but I think you can probably get a scholarship to come to the United States as a student so that you can study here and then also get your skydiving license here. And yeah, the other thing is too, is that I think you can, I have to check, if you get a student visa, I think your dad and your mom would have an easier time getting a tourist visa to come visit you for a week because their son is studying here on a student visa. So I think you've got a really great opportunity here because of your current age and where you're from and your grades. I think you'd be, just like I told Mikhail, he's an absolute idiot if he doesn't go skydiving this summer. I think you're an absolute idiot if you don't start applying to American universities. And there are thousands of American universities. Honestly, go to whichever one accepts you and is willing to give you a student visa. Boom. That's going to change your life and give you many more opportunities. Yeah, Mikhail said do activities in school. Colleges love involvement. I have a company, Break Diving. You can it's a not-for-profit if you want to volunteer with me at Break Diving and helping the community to grow. That would be fantastic, and that's something you could put on your resume. But don't do it just to put it on your resume. You got to do it because you want to help the company first. I don't like when people volunteer just to get something for themselves. So for those of you who just joined, we're talking about skydiving. I love skydiving. I'm going again this weekend. I've gone 54 times. This weekend will be the 55th time. And not extra lessons. We're talking about do lots of activities and hobbies and get involved with organizations and do things that show that you're more than just another student. Show that you are a really interesting person. For example, if you can become president of the student body, or you can be a part of drama club, or learn how to play an instrument and be part of the school band. Do anything like that that's going to help you to become a little bit more competitive. So, well, this is my third live stream. I cannot believe how much time I'm spending doing these live streams. YouTube doesn't do an actual watch time calculation until 7 days later. So I have to wait. Right now I have the data from May 31st. I didn't start doing live streams, I think, until June 2nd. And so I'm waiting. I think I have to wait 2 more days to really see if the watch time is going to increase. What's up, Emmeline? Great to see you. Hey, Emmeline, how old are you? We're talking about skydiving. You need to be 18 to go skydiving. I'm just curious how many more years you would need to wait before you jump out of an airplane. By the way, Emmeline, give me a like, will ya? We need to get to 4. We need 4 likes. My goal actually on this live stream is 5. I don't know if we're going to get to 5. But now that you joined, I think we'll at least get to 3. Actually at least get to 4. You can play on 3 instruments, but not professionally. That's great. That's certainly helpful. What I would certainly do is maybe start a YouTube channel and start playing the instruments on there, start getting some subscribers. So that way, when you apply to colleges, you can say, I have a YouTube channel with 250 subscribers and I regularly post music that I play, and it'll look like you're doing something. All right, so you're 10 years old. Cool. So you need to wait 8 years before you can jump out of an airplane. Do you want to jump out of an airplane, Emmeline? You missed the whole part in the beginning where I was explaining that it's not as scary. You don't feel like you're falling. It's very safe. Awesome. You got 55 subscribers. Keep going. And as I was talking to the other YouTuber that was on here, you deleted all your videos. Dude, why'd you do that? Once you post a video, leave it on there because it's always going to get more views. It's going to result in people subscribing. And maybe this could be a way that you can make money in the future. It's been really long and hard for me. It's been 15 years, 20 years since I've been YouTubing. And I think this is the year, 2024, I think I'm going to actually make money from YouTube because I'm getting the watch time finally. I've got all the subscribers needed to monetize the channel, but I need 3,000 watch hours in order to allow to get tips from subscribers. You posted 3 videos. Well, I'm telling you, Nat Cohn, you better post those videos again or record some new ones. Do some YouTube lives, just like I'm doing now. The best way to do a YouTube live if you don't have a lot of subscribers is reach out to 5 of your friends who might be interested and just say, hey, I'm going to be doing a live stream playing my trumpet, whatever, for 20 minutes, Friday night at 9 p.m. Can you come? And basically you're inviting people to a show. And invite those 5 people. And then when you do the live stream, you've actually got 5 people watching and you're going to get more watch time, which is going to help lead towards you getting monetized. Emmeline, I am an insane, crazy man because I think I'm just going to keep doing this live streaming every single day until I get monetized. I don't care how exhausted I get, how tired I get. I'm getting too old. 20 years of being a YouTuber and I haven't monetized it yet. Not cool. What's up, Zrayo1? Well, I disagree with Free Gaza because Hamas is a horrible organization that killed and raped and murdered a lot of Israelis. And I have a lot of friends in Israel. Maybe there can be a 2-state solution, but I've lost a lot of respect for the Free Palestine movement because of the way they've behaved. They still have Israeli hostages. That's just disgusting. They stole people from their families and are holding them, innocent people. So I'm not going to support Free Palestine on here. I'm sorry. Now, I think you need 1,000 views to be monetized. Yes, I think you need, no, not 1,000 views. You need 1,000 subscribers. And there is some form of monetization that happens at 500 subscribers. I think if you have 500 subscribers and you have 3,000 hours of watch time, you can get tips, like super tips or whatever, super chat, and you can link it to your online store so you could sell your own products. So I've already met, what time am I going live? I don't know, probably sometime when I get up. I'm taking my mom to get her driver's license tomorrow. And that's at 11 a.m. So I'm probably going to wake up and probably do a 1-hour live stream in the morning sometime. Maybe around 9 o'clock, 9:30 in the morning for an hour. And then I'm jumping into the car, taking my mom. And then the second form of monetization is 1,000 subscribers, and 4,000 watch hours in the last 12 months. This is why I want to do the live streaming every day, because I'm getting so much watch time. And all I need to do is reach 4,000, boom, or 3,000, I'll get super chat. And maybe you guys will give me $1 every week. I don't know. I don't know exactly how that works. Or maybe you'll end up buying a book that's linked to my shop. We'll figure that out. Hey, what's up, Jarek Poops? What are you? I'm your worst nightmare. My name is Arnold. Who am I? I'm a very interesting guy. I'm an Iraq war veteran. I have a PhD in psychology, an MBA in finance. I'm a lawyer. I'm a licensed skydiver, and I'm a filmmaker. I run a private investigation firm. I run a tech company. So I basically do a little bit of absolutely everything. I'm a YouTube live streamer, and I like to share what I've learned throughout my education and my life with the people on my channel who want to watch. Try using tags in the description of videos. Oh, that's fascinating, Nakon. So basically what it's going to be about. Maybe I could go back into each video and put skydiving and Kyrgyzstan and things like that, because that's what we talked about in here. Very, very interesting. What's Stop the Cap? What does that mean? I know the song there's a song, is it Fatboy Slim, or I forget who it is, but it's Stop the Rock, Can't Stop the Rock. Oh, I really love that song. I want to hear that song again. I'm going to write it down because I really want to remember. You guys got to listen to that song. Stop the rock, can't stop the rock. You can't stop the rock, can't stop the rock. No, I know it. Stop that. Wait, what did somebody write? Stop the cap? Stop the cap. I still don't know what that means. Right now I live in Florida. I moved here 3 years ago from New York. And before New York, I was living in China, teaching English, living in Shanghai. I loved it so much, I did it once in 2014, and then I went back again in 2019. I probably would still be in China, maybe, teaching English, but COVID happened. I came home in December of 2019. I was supposed to go back in March of 2020, and in February, they said, "You've got no more job." And 5 months later, the entire company went bankrupt and everybody lost their jobs. So maybe it was fortuitous that COVID happened and I didn't go back, because I would have lost my job. Stop the cap means stop joking. Really? Interesting. See, you guys are teaching me stuff too. I don't know everything. The more I learn, the more I know nothing. I'm in a biology 1 class because I'm doing pre-med, because maybe I have this idea that I want to become a doctor one day, a medical doctor. And I'm in this biology class, and every chapter that I read and every lecture, and I'm learning all about enzymes and how the cell membranes work and all that stuff. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, this body of ours is absolutely crazy. How the heck does this body work? And the body of a dog, and all those cells working together with the brain. And so the dog can bark, and the dog can eat and digest food. And we can talk to one another, and you can hear what I'm saying. It blows my mind. The world is accelerating and changing everything. Yeah. I mentioned on another live stream that I want you all to go to the Apple store and do the free Apple Vision Pro demo of virtual reality. If I had an extra $3,500 just sitting around that I didn't need for anything, I would buy this virtual reality headset, because I find it so fascinating. I've done that demo twice, and it's so cool. And robotics too. I really believe a year or two from now, we're gonna start to have in-house robots. And I mean, everything with self-driving cars, self-driving helicopters, and robots that look like humans. Oh, so Nakon is saying, I don't recommend buying Apple Vision Pro. There's a lot cheaper alternative. There may be, but I tried some other ones and they made me feel sick. And I loved the precision with which I could look at something. It's amazing. You put on these Apple Vision Pro things and I would look at, I look at an app. I look at an app in the distance and I just go like this, click, and it clicked it and it opened it. And I could go like this and expand. I go like this and it zooms in and out. It was just amazing. So you have an Oculus Quest. So is the Oculus one the one that's created by Facebook, by Meta? Because I feel like that people could experience skydiving maybe initially, or maybe we could do training by doing the virtual reality headset. And you can kind of see what it looks like when you're actually jumping out of the plane and when you're under the parachute and things like that. I mean, the virtual reality is going to make training, especially for the military, so much more precise. And, you're going to be able to practice clearing a room, but you're not actually in a room. You're just in an open warehouse. I mean, just really fascinating. So let me ask you this then, Nakon. Let me ask this. Have you used the Apple Vision Pro? Because, I mean, why the price discrepancy? Why is an Oculus Quest $500 and the Apple Vision Pro $3,500? I mean, that is a huge difference. You would think that the Apple Vision Pro then is a better version. I use my hands. I'm curious what he's talking about. So again, while we're talking about that, I'm excited that both of you want to go skydiving. It tracks your hand movement. So maybe it's very similar to the Apple Vision Pro. Oh, that's a really good idea. Let me go watch some YouTube videos for Apple Vision Pro and for Oculus and see some of the games, and maybe I'll be able to see which one, if Apple Vision Pro really is worth that money. I'll tell you this, I'm not going to buy Apple Vision Pro for $3,500 unless suddenly I get $20,000 that just randomly shows up on my doorstep and I go, oh, okay, cool. I'll pay some of my rent with this, my bills, do some investments, and I'll buy a $3,500 Vision Pro. But hey, you, Mikhail, go and check out Apple Vision Pro. Try the demo because it's free. I'm really curious what you think about that. Apple Vision Pro game choices are small. They did tell me that because it's so new. They said they're working on it and they're hoping to eventually create some more. But right now, Oculus is certainly better. Can I do an Oculus demo somewhere? Is there anywhere I could do an Oculus demo, or can only do it on YouTube by watching videos? All right, well, while we're waiting for that, I'm going to be wrapping up this live stream now because my voice is killing me again. It was killing me earlier when I did the 2-hour thing. So there are platforms. All right, so we'll look into that. Very interesting. I'm going to try to tie in that virtual reality again to the skydiving topic because I always want to come back to that. I think it's going to be very interesting. Maybe it'll be a way for people to overcome their fear of heights by using virtual reality. Because literally when I was using that Apple Vision Pro, I felt I was there. I felt I was on this lake in Alaska with real Alaskan bears right next to me. It was mind-blowing how realistic it really felt. So I imagine and there was one demo where you're on the side of a mountain and you could actually go like this and look down and oh my gosh, you see the ground and you felt it a little bit. So I think it'll really be an excellent way for people to overcome fear of heights. Maybe it'll help people, encourage them to go skydiving because they can overcome the fear of heights. They can practice jumping out of the plane without actually doing it because they have the virtual reality headset. Let me look at these comments here. 3K quality films. By the way, I'm worried. Is my English okay? I'm on B2 level. I'm playing. Yeah, your English is wonderful, Nakon. You're speaking wonderfully. I understand you completely. Mikhail understands you completely. I'm telling you, if you apply to American schools, I think you're going to get accepted to some of them. And if you get accepted but you don't get a scholarship, I'll say this, don't be sad. Be grateful and go, awesome, I got accepted. Now I just need to figure out how to get the money. And then if you get accepted, you reach out to me and say, Monroe, I got accepted. How do I get the money now? And then I'm happy to help you, whatever I can. Maybe we could put a fundraiser together. Maybe you could get your friends and family. Maybe you could reach out to the school, or maybe you could find a scholarship from some other source. There's always a solution. So don't give up before you've even tried. Try. And it's so crazy. He's like, I'm not even going to apply to schools in America because I can't get a visa and I don't have the money. Dude, you haven't even been accepted to a school in America yet. Why are you worrying about money and a visa? Get accepted first, and then worry about how to pay for it and how to get the visa. Students in America are allowed to do a job. For experience, yeah. If it's called OPT, I forget what it stands for, occupational professional training or something like that. And in many schools, you can get a job on the campus. So you can talk to students. You can talk to your school and they'll give you a job on the campus. So don't even worry about that. For now, just apply to schools in America and get accepted to a school. Then worry about everything else. So in conclusion, guys, please go skydiving. It is so much fun. Even if you just do it once and you never do it again, fine, but I hope you'll actually go on your first tandem, go back for your second tandem, then do the 6-hour ground course, and then finally do your first jump with your own parachute. That is mind-blowingly crazy. When you jump out of the plane with your own parachute, and then you control the parachute by yourself. It's amazing. Thank you again, guys. Please click like if you haven't yet. I would appreciate that. I think all of the guys that are on here now are already subscribed, but anyone who is watching this video, please click subscribe. Would love you to join us. And absolutely, you're welcome, Nekon. Like, I don't want to just talk. What's the point of doing a live stream if I'm not going to interact with the people who are watching me? I think that's insulting. Otherwise, you could just watch the video when it's recorded. The benefit of a live stream is that I can interact with you and you can interact with me. So my pleasure. I'm glad you subscribed. Thank you so much, guys. Mikhail, let's get in touch and figure out about August when we're going to go skydiving. I'd love to invite you to come to the TEDx at Jefferson University. And I think that's super messed up that some streamers ignore the chat. Now, imagine if there are 100 people in this chat, and that chat is going a mile a minute. It's going to be hard for me to get noticed. It's going to be hard for someone to get noticed. I'm not going to see everyone. But I guess that's why you do the super chat, because when you got 100 or 150 or 10,000 people watching, if someone gives you $1, it's going to show up bigger, I guess. I think that's how that works. So it's saying, hey, if you want to make sure that I see it. But for now, I'm going to do everything I can to talk to you guys. Oh my gosh, Pato comes back right when I'm finished. So because Pato's back, I'm gonna stick around for 3 or 4 more minutes, or 4 or 5 more minutes. Pato, we were talking about skydiving. Have you gone skydiving before? That's the first question. Nakon has not gone skydiving, but he's hoping to do so in the United States sometime in the next year or two. And Mikhail is going to be going with me in August in Pennsylvania. Okay, so you have to be 18 years old to go skydiving. Are you 18 already? Or are you... I think Nakon is around like 17 or 16, so you're going to have to wait 2 years anyway. And, well, Pato, do you want to go skydiving? You're not, okay, Nakon, you're 19. You're all set. All you need to do is find the drop zone. Very cool. All right, so you're almost 18, Peto. As soon as you turn 18, you're eligible to do your first tandem skydive. So a lot of people mark their calendar for their 18th birthday because they know that's finally they get to jump out of an airplane. And really cool. I hope you guys will do it. Sure, absolutely. I love it, Peto. I wish I was telling Mikhail earlier, yeah, it's absolutely scary. But if you watch the beginning of this video, you'll hear me talking to everybody about why it's not as scary as you think. So when you get a chance, watch the beginning of this video. I wish I had done it when I was in college, 18, 19, 20 years old, because I would have had this great hobby so much sooner. But I didn't really get back into it and really learn how to skydive until it was actually like 3 years ago. Is when I really started doing it, when I moved down here to Florida. So I'm telling you guys, it's, you're 16, so in 2 years. Do it, guys. I want you to jump out of an airplane. Especially, I forgot to tell you the other reasons why you should go skydiving. This is the way to end it. The bonus for the people who actually watch the whole thing. Your level of confidence is going to skyrocket because every time you jump out of that plane, you overcame an incredible fear. Humans are not supposed to be jumping out of planes. So when you do it, you feel amazing when you hit the ground. And when you drive home, you feel like, yes, I am so awesome. Number 2, people also respect you because they know it's scary. Anytime I meet somebody who is a skydiver, meaning they've done even one skydive, I'm like, you're awesome. When I find somebody has got their license, which means they've done 25 jumps minimum, 23 of which were with their own parachute, I think this person's a badass, this person is courageous, this person can overcome fear, this person can make decisions under pressure, this person is capable of being entrusted with something dangerous or risky, but will do it safely. If you put licensed skydiver on your resume for jobs or whatever, your biography, people think you're cool. By the way, Peto, can you click like? I was trying to get 5 likes in this live chat and this live stream, and I got to 4, and I think you could be the 5th. Once I get 5 likes, I will know that I can officially end this live stream. If I don't get 5 likes, that's fine, because I'm going to end it in about 2 or 3 minutes. But if I can get 5, we know that we did a job well done. And we kicked ass. I remember when I went for the swimming in the river. You swam in an Iraqi river. That is cool. We just got 5 likes. High five, guys. Yes. Huzzah. And it wasn't transparent. Yeah. I'll tell you this. I never went swimming in any of the Iraqi rivers. Thanks, Peto, for pressing like. You're the best. We were all thinking, there's no way. Well, also, the main reason we didn't go swimming is because there were all these people who wanted to kill us. And if we went swimming, it means we had to take off all of our gear and put our weapons down. And that's not something that we really wanted to risk back then. It was a little bit scarier time. But you went on top of a bridge and jumped. That is a perfect way to end this live stream, Nakon, because that's what I want you to do with skydiving. I want you to go onto a plane and jump. And he wrote, I was so confident, but after standing on the corner for half a minute, I was so scared and was panicking. You're going to feel the exact same way when you're in that airplane. It's weird. But the point is, you're going to do it. And as soon as you jump out of the plane, it's like you're floating. And you're in the most peaceful, Zen-like state you've ever been in. So quiet. And you're just you. You're like a bird. It's absolutely amazing. That's okay, Peto. That's fine. Thank you for your brother for sharing his account with you, and I thank you that you liked it through your brother's account. No problem. A lot of people share YouTube accounts, and I get it. So Again, thank you guys so much. You guys are fantastic. I love you guys. I'm so grateful that you taken the time to listen to what I have to say. Please invite your friends to subscribe to my channel. And if you haven't, turn on notifications so you'll be notified when I start doing live streams. I'm going to be doing another one probably tomorrow morning, brand new topic. And we're going to keep this train rolling until I get to 3,000 and finally get monetized. Let me just read. It says, see you next time, Monroe. We'll be waiting for another stream. Thanks so much, Nekon. It's confusing how to make an account. All right, I'll just finish with that. Pato, you can make your own account. If you go to gmail.com, you need to create a Gmail account first. So create an email account on Gmail. Then go to YouTube and sign in with that Gmail account that you just created. And you'll automatically create a channel. It'll ask you to create a name for the channel. And then, beautiful, you now have the ability to start YouTubing yourself or to be on these live streams in your own name. I think it's a good idea because maybe after a while, I'm going to inspire you to start doing your own YouTube videos and YouTube live streaming. And certainly you want to do that on your own account. Also, if you create your own account, I can get another subscriber. So anyway, guys, it's been a pleasure. I'll talk with you soon. Sleep well or good morning, wherever you are. Hope you have a great day, a great night. And remember, winners do it now. Winners do it now. Bye, guys.